Really, really well. All right, so I welcome you all to this amazing session. And the guest for today is Deputy Commandant Dhananjaya Bharadwaj. He's the founder of Parkmate India. And today we're going to talk about, you know, anything or probably everything startup. All right, and he'll be sharing with us his his experiences, the challenges that he's going through. And yes, so we're going to have him here. I'm waiting for him to join in, and it's going to be an exhilarating session. I'm like 110% sure about it. Good evening, Dhananjay.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm glad to
So
be
good
part
to
of this
have you.
discussion. Same, the pleasure is mine.
Yes. Audible?
Yeah, you're audible. I hope I am.
Yes, everything's perfect. And, I was just telling the audience about how you've started something on your own. But of course, I haven't introduced you in totality. So, can we take a couple of seconds and, introduce you to the audience?
Yeah,
The stage is all yours.
okay. So I am actually a retired Deputy Commandant from Indian Coast Guard, Ministry of Defense. I'm a mechanical engineer by qualification and a marine engineer and a project and operations manager by experience. So this is my profile. I've worked for the Indian Coast Guard for 10 years, and the experience that I've gained there, been working with some of the bestest people in the world. And I was very lucky to be trained with the Indian Navy, and I had an interaction with a lot of interaction with other sister services, from police services, with the administration. So last 10 years have prepared me for actually launching my startup or launching my venture.
Yeah,
So whatever
yeah.
experiences that I've gained of how things actually work, what are the things that you must take care of, and how you can actually utilize your experience of operations management, project management, process optimization in actually solving a day-to-day problem that everybody actually faces. So that's what I'm actually trying to do, to solve some problem that everybody faces every day. So that's about me.
Yes, lovely. So, Dhananjay, before you must have decided, okay, bhai, let's get down this journey of, building something uh, of your own and, solving the problem, a particular problem, which we'll, of course, talk about later in the session, like what problem your startup aims at solving. But before you actually dived into this world, I'm sure you must have come across some myths. वो हर एक उसमें होता है. So, what myths you found were actually shouldn't be given that much importance, or what was the reality when you actually went through that experience on your own?
Okay, actually, I started working on full time on my startup actually almost a year back. I did started doing
Okay.
my homework. I started doing my homework on and study on the startup because I'm not from management background. I mean, I'm not an MBA. I'm not from business class family, so I did not know much about the businesses. But I started doing my study, and this is what I'm good at. So I did some digging up. I was following news that was circulating around, and I wanted to study the problem that we wanted to solve intricately. Uh, and I started interacting with a lot of startup founders because that was the first time I actually came on LinkedIn, and the news on all the social medias and everywhere was actually circulating. This particular startup got this many $1 million of funding. This particular startup has got this many dollars of funding. This must have got this much
Yes.
investment, Series A, Series B, Series, and everything seemed so hunky dory. It was like a rainbows and brownies. It was literally like that. यार ये तो बड़ा आसान है. जाओ
Hmm.
आप अपना स्टार्टअप आइडिया लेके जाओ and gain money and everything is settled. So and later on I realized that it is actually not true. And most of the startup founders, and not startup founders, most of the people who want to venture into startup, they think that they have an idea of $1 million, of $1 billion.
Hmm.
I have $1 billion idea. But the first and the last thing that I have learned, that is the most important, is the foundation for any startup. That idea means nothing unless the execution is perfect. So it is never about the idea. It's always about the founders and their execution, how they execute things. If you want to sell a pan online, you can very well sell a pan online. But if you execute the supply chain right, if you execute the marketing part right, So even when I
Right.
started, I also had this eureka moment that yaar ye mera idea hai, and this is going to do well. This is going to do so well. It's so simple.
Huh.
But when you start actually working on the ground and you realize there are so many problems that you face every day, and actually when you're starting it, it's very easy. It's very cozy. I'm doing very well. It's very exciting. But then you start facing
Hmm.
problems and you realize that real world execution of that idea in the real world is almost 1,000 times tougher than what you expected. So don't just start up just because you have an idea. First, start working
Okay.
on the execution part. Ideas mean nothing unless they are executed right. So that is the biggest myth that people have, that मेरा idea ये है, जाकर idea लेके जाऊंगा, investment लूंगा, काम शुरू. So that is not actually how things work. So it has taken us a lot of pain, a lot of time, a lot of hard work, a lot of perseverance to reach. I won't say that we are at a very successful level, but at least we are in the right direction right now. So it has taken a lot of pain, hard work, and a lot of dedication, which is a journey that we have enjoyed. You're definitely going to enjoy your journey. And another myth is that two guys can come together and start a company. It's not like that. It is not like that.
Okay.
You have to have founders which are actually perfect in managing things, different things of a company. Like somebody has to be good in financing part, somebody has to be good in marketing, somebody has to be good in sales.
Right.
At the end, at the
Right.
end, at the end, all of us are salesmen. From the very ground staff to the very CEO, everybody is a salesman at the end. But so this is the second myth that यार हम दो दोस्त मिलके स्टार्टअप स्टार्ट करते हैं, आज लगाएंगे, परसों फंडिंग मिलेगी, यार सब कुछ बन गया. It's not like that. So these are the certain myths which are
Yes.
actually circulating, which is actually maybe because of the news that are circulating around every day, because everybody is learning and getting these news. इससे उतना investment होता है, उतने $1 million के investment हुआ है. Sounds very easy, but nobody actually tells you the story behind the hard work that those startups have actually done to be able to get those
Yes.
funding. Third and the most
Yes.
important myth. Third and the most important myth is unless you have a good enough traction, you will not get
Okay.
funding. You will not get funding. You will not get any support. You will not get any mentorship. It's like in the finest words of Kunal Shah, he has said
Hmm.
that if you tell people that I want shoes for running fast, nobody will give you shoes. But if you tell them that I run fast, but I need shoes to run faster, then they
Hmm.
will come up with Nike, Adidas, everybody will come up to, yeah, low, mere shoes low. So that is actually how I
Hmm.
want to sum it up. You have to have a traction. You have to build yourself enough. You must have good enough traction. Traction means, for those who do not understand traction, आपका business पहले establish होना चाहिए थोड़ा सा. There's a thing called product market fit. Product market fit तब होता है जब आपने जो अपना प्रोडक्ट बनाया है उसको आप जनरल पब्लिक के आपके जो भी टारगेट कस्टमर्स हैं उनके पास लेके जाते हैं, वो आपके प्रोडक्ट को एक्सेप्ट करते हैं. Like in the very beginning, first 5-10 days, we didn't have even a single customer, and we thought कि जाएंगे और customers की बाढ़ आ जाएगी. But it was not like that.
हाँ, ये
It
एक
takes
जनरल
time.
आइडिया होता है कि हम अपना कुछ बनाएंगे बिजनेस और कस्टमर तो भाई अगले दिन ही आ
In
जाएगा.
in order to get our first 1,500 paid customers, it has taken a lot of pain, but the journey has been
Yes.
beautiful. We loved the pain that we faced, but now we are in the right direction. Even in 1.5 months, we have got our more than 1,500 paid customers, so that too high value customers, and we have successfully partnered up with some of the very big names in the industry, which I cannot name right now for certain reasons.
Oh, and I don't even want you to. No, I don't
So
even
these
want you to.
so
Yes.
these three myths actually I want to address here, that you should not get swayed by the rainbow newses that are circulating around. It's not just that rainbows. There's a lot of rain and dark cloud before the rainbow.
Gloomy, yes, gloominess, every day, like there are days when you're like questioning, ये सही जा रहे हैं, नहीं जा रहे हैं. Then there are days when you're like, चलो यार छोड़ ही दो, I think it's not working. But then the next day you're like, नहीं यार ऐसे कैसे छोड़ दो,
I I
the
I'm
ups
in
and downs.
I'm in touch with so many founders. I'm telling you, everybody has a self doubt moment every time. आपके दिमाग में आता है यार
Yes,
मेरा आइडिया काम करेगा कि नहीं करेगा, यार मैं सही स्टेप ले रहा हूँ कि नहीं ले रहा. At there will be some moments when you think यार maybe my decision was wrong. Decision, you have to stand by it. You have to have
did I
vision for it.
lose you?
Hello,
Yeah,
am
you're
I
back.
audible?
Yeah, you're back. You're back. Yeah, yeah, you're back.
There will be such moments where you will have a self doubt moment. Everybody has. What do you think? Even sometimes even the most successful people in the world might have a self doubt on certain decisions. But do not trust your gut. Trust the numbers.
Hmm. Oh, lovely. Go by the data. So that's your advice.
Always be based on the analytics. Do not decide a pricing. Do not take a
Analysis.
decision only on the guts. If you're trusting your guts,
Yes,
you
yes. Very
You might
important
have
point here.
more chances of failure, but if you are trusting your gut after analyzing the data, then your success chances increase. I won't say that even that would be 100% successful, but that your chances of success will increase. We made the mistakes earlier. We did make these mistakes earlier, but we have learned from it. So trust the data and then your
Love.
guts.
Lovely, Dhananjay. Thank you for clearing out these myths, because it's very important. हम सुनते तो हैं myth, but somebody has actually gone through the journey. It's coming from that person, it becomes that much more, उसकी credibility बढ़ जाती है, because you've now gone through that process. तो अभी
I'm
समझ में
going
आता है
through.
अच्छा ये myth,
I'm
and you're
still
going
going through.
through, and you will
Yes.
continue to go through.
Yes.
Yes. Because ये तो ऐसा होता है ना, there's never a time when you can say, oh, I've arrived. Types,
No.
like you'll
Absolutely.
constantly keep on growing. Yes. So, Dhananjay, if you can like explain to us like the
Can you please just give me a
processes that are involved.
Can you please just give me a minute? I think there's some noise.
All right. Okay. Just give me a thumbs up when
Yes.
you're ready, right?
No.
All right. Okay. So now that you've gone through the process and now you've also in this phase of customer acquisition and like you're saying high value customer acquisition होने लगा है, तो I'm sure आपने काफी stages तो cross कर ली होंगी of building a startup. So if you can just explain to our audience couple of initial stages. आगे तो चलता ही रहेगा, but couple of initial stages that are very crucial when you like right from getting the idea, then concept. Like what are those stages? Like the basic
Okay.
ones.
As per since I'm not a management graduate, but what I've learned, there are 4 stages of a startup. For a startup, by the
Right.
definition of
Right.
by the government of India, the Startup India scheme, there are certain definitions for it. I won't go into that, but first let's go on the 4 stages. One is the ideation. Second is the
Right. Ideation.
second is the product market fit. Third is the scale, and fourth is the expansion. So I'll focus only on the ideation and the product market fit because that will be more relevant here. Scaling and
Right.
expansion is on a very later stage. That is on the stages of some bigger startups now. Okay, how I have gone through it, I'll speak about it in my perspective, in my experience. Okay,
Yes.
first we got that idea. How this idea came up, I can start from that if that would be comfortable. Because it will take some time. Okay.
Yes, waiting for it.
Okay, I personally am very proud to say that I take deep pride in that I like to solve problems. I have been into that. Since my very childhood, from my school time to my college time also, I have been into problem solving. That was actually something that I always enjoyed. I was very curious about things, how they are done. I was curious about things. But then this problem is about parking. Parking is my domain in which we are working actually. We were actually during the time of my wedding when we used to visit the Delhi markets a lot. You know how things work during the North Indian wedding ना? You go to the markets. आप एक महीने पहले पागल हो जाते हो. आप जाते हो shopping करने जाते हो. You go totally bonkers. यहाँ भी लेना है वहाँ भी लेना है because you have certain traditions like 11 dresses have to be given to the girl. तो सब लोग आप साथ में सारी family जाते हो shopping के लिए. You go to the best of the markets, and most of the markets are actually cluster markets like Chandni Chowk and Old
Chandni
Delhi.
Chowk.
Like, yes, all these areas that you go, Amar Colony, Sarojini Nagar, these areas that you normally go. Now, what used to happen? I used to travel in my own car because obviously आपके पास आपने 3 भी ड्रेस उठा ली तो अभी गाड़ी भर गई. आप कैब में नहीं जा सकते. And I'm talking about back in 2016. So whenever we used to travel in our own car, तो problem क्या होता था? मैं जाऊँगा फिर वहाँ पार्किंग मिलती नहीं थी. These cluster markets. So what I used to do, I used to drop my mom, my fiancée or my sister or my nani or my other family member. यार आप लोग उतरो, मैं गाड़ी लगा के आता हूँ. Standard thing. Then I used to drop them at particular thing. Then I would go around, look for a parking, probably find a parking some 1.5 kilometer away. Then catch a rickshaw, then reach that destination. By the time they must have got lost in the market with other घूम रहे, then I used to call them कहाँ हो, and this problem used to exist, and it happened multiple times. That's when the first time they think something must be done about it. So I started doing my study on this. Ki if any other companies there, because that was the time when startups started booming. For everything, there was an application coming up back in 2016-17. So I started searching if there's some solution for this. Unfortunately, there was no solution. Even Google Maps did not tell us where is the nearest parking area. I started doing my study. But then because I was into services, then life happened. I was back to my life, but I kept on searching for any solution to this because every time I used to visit a metro city, be in Mumbai, because I've served in Mumbai also, in सब एरिया में जहाँ भी जाओ पार्किंग का प्रॉब्लम और पहले से ज्यादा बढ़ता जा रहा था प्रॉब्लम पार्किंग का. जितना आपका समय जा रहा था उतना पार्किंग भी बढ़ रहा था. Now, what happened after that? Back in 2019, I came across a startup who started off by the name. Some new startup came up with a huge funding, and they started offering online parking booking, where you can pre-book a parking.
Right. Okay.
So I thought that yes, maybe that would be a solution. So I started. I tried to avail those solutions, but even then, it was a big hassle for me because 1.5 किलोमीटर दूर तो मुझे तब भी जाना पड़ रहा था. There was no parking in Chandni Chowk वाले area में उस time भी, तो almost 800 meters तो
हाँ,
मुझे
वहाँ पे
minimum
तो
जाना ही जाना
बहुत
था.
मुश्किल है.
Even in Karol
बिल्कुल.
Bagh, it used to happen. Karol Bagh, you go to Karol Bagh or anywhere else you go. Even in the mall से used to travel. वहाँ पे जाने के बाद आपको अगर वैले पार्किंग में देनी है तो वैले पार्किंग में तो दे दोगे, बट गाड़ी रिट्रीव करने के लिए 15-20 मिनट लग जाते थे. आप खड़े रहोगे पार्किंग में, आप गाड़ी आएगी 10 मिनट 15 मिनट, वीकेंड में तो 20 मिनट से भी ज्यादा लग जाते थे. It was a
बिल्कुल.
common problem. So we started working on it. We did our study. We did our survey, and we came up with a solution for that. So that is how we started. Now, how actually the stages of startup go? How we started implementing the actual stages of the startup? How we started? The first thing is one day we decided that yes, now we have done our study. We have some data. Let's start working on it. So that's the ideation part where the idea is actually cooked. It's actually nourished.
Right.
It's actually incubated. You think about all the brainstorming goes behind it. You and your founders and your team sit together. They start asking questions to each other कि हमारे क्या solution है, अगर हमने इसको ऐसे implement किया तो क्या implications हो सकते हैं, इस पे customer का perspective क्या हो सकता है. So we started actually doing the brainstorming on the idea. This is where the idea is
Right.
actually cooked into a concept. This is where the first initial plan comes up. So we came up with a plan. We made a plan. Then we started thinking how will we make revenue from this. Then we did some study on the pricing क्या structures हैं, क्या pricing रखना पड़ेगा area में. We did some study on that, and again a revenue model was built, a business model was built. Once these plans were built, I will not say that this was all a part of ideation phase, where the actual plan of your business, the skeleton of your business is actually thought. It's not even built.
Right. Right.
This is where the second phase that we started was before the product market fit was our MVP. The second stage was where we started building our minimum viable product. By the way, who do not know what is MVP? A minimum viable product is your solution that you want to actually make, which solves the very basics or the core idea of your problem. It's like
Right.
it's not having the clutter. It's not very good looking. It just solves the purpose that you want to serve, the problem that you want to serve. So we started working on our MVP so that we can do the initial iterations. We can learn from our mistakes. So we started making the wireframe of our application by a pen and a paper. So I still have those papers on which we made our first iterations of our wireframe. By the way, wireframe is आपका application कैसा दिखेगा, कौन सी screen पे कैसा लगेगा, for those people who do not know. So that is actually an application for wireframe. So we started making that. We started working very hard on the wireframe. हम लोगों ने पहले कुछ iterations रखे, and again a lot of discussions went into it कि ऐसा होगा तो कैसे होगा, इसमें clutter ज़्यादा हो रहा है. If you're driving, you cannot click on the button. Many things happened. Even from the size of the button to the font that we are using, everything was discussed. This is
A lot goes.
conventionally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's how we came up with our MVP. Then we found our first tech team. Initially, we thought to offload this particular thing, but we spoke to a lot of founders, and we learned that offloading was not suggested by most of the people. And then we did our study on this ki kya problem ho sakta hai. Then we realized that we have to hire our own tech team. So that's where our tech team actually joined us full time. So we have a very amazing tech team with us, a very dedicated 2 boys that we have. Very, very good. I would like to name them. Okay, I should not name them right now for certain reasons. Okay, my tech team actually joined me then. Okay.
Right.
So we got a tech team then, and they are exceptional guys. In fact, I would compare them to somebody who's actually an artist. So they are artists in their field. So that's how we came up with our first MVP. And once our MVP was ready, so that's where you go for to establish a product market fit. अब आपका product ready है, आपने idea बना के अपने product MVP ready कर लिया. Now you have to go with that MVP to market and to check कि लोग इसे खरीदेंगे कि नहीं.
हाँ.
By the way, before launching our product, by the way, in 2019 we did a 14-day trial, on-ground trial without an application in place. कि हम ये product करना चाहते हैं कि लोग लेंगे नहीं. 14 days we did a trial in Karol Bagh, New Delhi, in certain locations. जो हमारा आइडिया था हम लोगों ने उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करके देखा था विदाउट अवर एप्लीकेशन, एंड वी गॉट अ बम्पर रिस्पॉन्स. And because 2020 November was a date when we did a 14-day trial. उस 14 डे में हमें बहुत अच्छा फीडबैक मिला, तो हमें लगा यार हमारा प्रोडक्ट मार्केट फिट तो अभी रेडी है ऑलरेडी, वी शुड गो एंड लेट्स जंप इनटू द मार्केट. We parked 1,302 cars that time in just 14 days. Yes.
Wow.
But
wow.
And we were sure shot यार अब तो प्रोडक्ट एप्लीकेशन रेडी करके जाएंगे तो everything will be in our मुट्ठी में होगा सारी दुनिया अब तो. So we made an application and actually went to the market this time. And we didn't realize that the 14-day trial that we went into was during the Diwali time, and the first lockdown, and the first lockdown had just opened. So everybody was flooding into the markets. And if you can go back, you must have learned that automobile industry again got a boom just the moment after the lockdown was open. Was relaxed actually. So
yes.
हम लोग product ready करके, application ready करके, we went to the market. We chose certain locations, and we thought, let's go win the world. And the response we got was zero. Nobody took our application. Nobody downloaded our application because what we do, we are actually application-based hyper-local valet parking services. So what we do exactly, I'll explain to people so that people can relate better. Now, suppose you are conventionally going to, let's say, Chandni Chowk. So Chandni Chowk में जो हमने आपको situation बताई वो होती है. Now consider our application. You have an application in place. You simply enter your destination or application that I'm going to, let's say, XYZ showroom in Chandni Chowk. You take your car directly to that showroom. When you reach there, you find a valet already waiting for you. He will collect your car. He will park it for you, and your car will be geotagged. All the safety features will be available in the application. And whenever you want to go back, just click get my car, and your car will be delivered then and there. You don't ever have to go to parking ever again. And this service will be available to all the locations, including malls, hotels, hospitals. This was our vision. This is actually still our vision. So this is what we were doing. But once we started, nobody accepted. But that's where we actually pivoted our D2C idea to first go B2B. Instead of going directly to the markets.
Okay.
Yeah. There were certain reasons here. There is some planning behind it which we cannot mention here, obviously for certain reasons. But we pivoted our idea कि अभी let's go step by step. Instead of focusing on B2C, let's focus on B2B. For those who do not know, B2B, B2C is business to business, where we give our services to an existing business. It can be a parking contractor, it can be a corporate house, it can be a big mall, hotel, hospital जहाँ पे वैले पार्किंग है उनके सिस्टम को अपनी सर्विस के थ्रू ऑटोमेट कर सकते हैं, जहाँ पे उनके कस्टमर्स का वेट टाइम जो होता है मिनिमाइज हो सकता है. तो those type of things are called B2B. And B2C where we're actually directly going to customer and say कि हमारा एप्लीकेशन डाउनलोड कर लो, आपको जहाँ जाना हो आप एंटर कर देना, डेस्टिनेशन मिल जाएंगे. हाँ. And this time nobody downloaded our application when we went directly B2C because we didn't have any marketing. We were very traction नहीं था. Yes. Even finding first B2B customers was very tough. It was very tough. And
yes, has to be.
Yeah, and sales is actually not our domain. But what we have learned in last almost 7-8 months is how to sell properly. And I think we have 95% success rate, conversion rate that I'm very proud to say कि अभी normally हमारा B2B conversion अभी तक अच्छा है, काफी अच्छा है. So B2 95% conversion rate is a very good rate. So we have finally learned from our mistakes. So that's how we pivoted. So this is actually where when we got our first more than 1,500 paying customers. That is where it is actually established. The product or the solution that you're offering is actually getting accepted by people. Now people are accepting your solution. That is how you establish a product market fit. So this is the second stage.
Right.
So in order to establish a product market fit, you have to go through to a lot of stages. So first was ideation, then you actually go do some brainstorming, then you find your tech team, build a team, then you build your revenue model, your business model, then you come up with the MVP. That's how these things work. After that, once you have established a product market fit, you started gaining traction. So we have started getting our initial good enough traction now. Now once you get the traction, now you have established कि यार मेरा solution है, लोगों ने accept कर लिया है. Now you can go to investors or you can go to VCs and tell that my solution is there. I've got a product which is doing well, but in order to scale it, I want your investment. Then you can go. And
so now that actually brings, sure, please go ahead.
In most of the cases, people won't even need investments. Most of the cases, most of the biggest, some of the startups have been bootstrapped for a long time. Bootstrap means you make money, you invest the money you make into your own business. So that is called bootstrapping.
Yes. Bootstrapping, yeah.
Yeah, using the money earned from a business, investing that same money into your startup. That's bootstrapping. So if you can do well by bootstrapping, it's best to keep all your equity to yourself. If you can.
And there are many
Till now,
companies
we
which
bootstrapped.
were bootstrapped for so many, like MailChimp and all. They were like bootstrapped for good 7, 8, 9 years, I think, and then they
Zerodha,
went to the market.
Zerodha is still bootstrapped.
That's what. So, I mean, if you can actually sustain via the bootstrap model, then why actually go to VCs, because it has its own implications. But then this actually brings me to my next question, Dhananjay, that if you actually do want to go to the VC, say, for example, and want to pitch your idea to the VC for some funds and all. So, like some some tricks or tips that can help somebody to pitch their idea to the VCs to get funding? I mean, as per your experience, or is it like currently you're saying that it's not required, but if in case it's required, then how do you actually go about it?
Okay, we require funding. I'll be very true, because we need, in order
Okay,
for us to scale up, we would need some funding. So we are lucky
right.
enough that I am not allowed to tell you the name right now, but we are associated with a very big conglomerate, I would say, or a very big group.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
we are in the top 6 of their cohort. So we are very lucky in that. But in order to reach that, I have pitched to more than 78 VCs before that,
Wow. All right.
before finally making it to it.
Right.
We
So
need to,
that's a big thing here. That
yeah,
don't just, I mean, expand your funnel jitna bhi kar sakte ho.
yeah. The first and the most important part is you have to have a traction. Don't go around pitching your idea; it won't work unless you have a traction. I wouldn't invest
True.
in anybody, even if I was an investor, I wouldn't invest in a business which is established, proven itself that it is a solution that people are accepting. So the first thing as a startup you must do before pitching your idea is always
Hmm.
focus more on the traction first, on establishing a product market fit. You must have a very clear go-to-market strategy. A go-to-market strategy is how you are going to gain customers, how you're going to fetch customers. That strategy must be very clear, and its vision should be
Right.
clear. Unless you
Right.
don't know how will you, because like I told you, when our product was ready and we started going to customers, our go-to-market strategy was not clear. That was a mistake. But we learned.
Hmm.
But we learned
Hmm.
eventually, and we formed a go-to-market strategy which has worked well till now, and we hope it will keep on working. We have a very distant vision for it कि इसका आगे किस तरीके से vision हमारा है आगे का हमने सोचा हुआ है. We have worked very hard in formulating a very good, a robust go-to-market strategy. Okay, so once you have got a good GTM, go-to-market strategy. Second, you have a traction. Only then think about pitching your idea to people, because nobody is going to
Right.
invest in an idea unless you yourself have established or proven your business. So first thing. Second is you must have a pitch deck. What is a pitch deck? Pitch deck is a presentation which is actually which is a brief about your business. It covers certain parts, like it addresses the problem first, the body which should be followed, because what we have learned over the period of time, the pitch deck has a flow. An ideal pitch deck must have a flow. First is about the
Right.
problem. What is the extent of the problem? What is the market? What is the total addressable market of that problem? First thing. And secondly, the second must be a solution. What you are offering, how it is actually going to address the problem, what is its capacity, or what is its market potential to make money. Because at the end, any
Very
investor who's going
important.
to invest in your money is
Very
about
important.
money.
Yes.
What its returns at the
Yes.
end. Problem
Yes.
solving,
Return
yes,
ROI.
definitely. The addition of the value and making or problem solving is a thing. But at the end, it's a money. Somebody is investing money, obviously, to make money. So how you're going to
Absolutely.
make more money to him or her? That is actually the second part of the flow. And the third part is competition. Your competition analysis must be very, very clear. You must analyze your competition in depth. We have
Hmm.
tried to analyze our competition in depth. We have tried our level best, but it is never perfect. It's very tough to predict what your competition is going to do next. And when your
Right.
competition is on a very big scale, your competition is a very big company who's already funded, and they may choose to go your way in the future. And if they are not going to go your way,
Hmm.
what are your moat? Moat is what are the obstacles that they will face in going into your field? Sometimes you might have direct competitors. Suppose if I want to say sell grocery in 10 minutes, then I've got so many competitors right now. Like Zepto is now, then Ola Dash, everything can come into place, and they're competitors, they're direct competition.
Direct.
But
Yes. And established
but
ones.
yes, but if I'm giving a service which, let's say, others are not offering, then why are they not offering? There must be a reason why this thought has not crossed anybody else's mind. Or if it has crossed, why have they not worked over it? What can be the reasons about it? So this thing actually, the competition analysis addresses a lot of perspectives towards a solution. कि आपके solution के अंदर वो क्या value है जो अभी तक किसी और ने नहीं किया है तो वो successful क्यों नहीं हुए? Why your competition who's got funding has not thought about it, or if they have thought about it, why they have not ventured it? So a competition analysis slide must be actually very clear, and must have clearly outlined reasons like moat and why you are better than them, why you're a better team. And the most important and the last part of the pitch deck should cover your team, because I'll tell you, nobody invests in a company. No investor invests. As far as I have spoken to people, most of the investors, not most, almost 100% of the investors, their ideology was they do not invest in business. They do not invest in an idea. They invest in the team. They invest in the founders. If they trust the founders that they are the best team to execute this idea, that they are actually experienced in executing this idea, then your chances of getting an investment and your success chances also increase. So this flow should be followed in a pitch deck, starting from a problem, the market and the extent of the problem, solution, it's how you're going to make money, revenue model, business model. Fourth will be the competition analysis. Final would be a team. Why your team is the best suited team to solve this problem. So this thing is there from my side.
Such an exhaustive list. Thank you so much for sharing this information. I'm sure, people who are watching it and all those who will probably watch it later on also, I'll post it in my Instagram. There's so many golden nuggets to actually, pick from this interaction. If somebody actually wants to go that, go that way of at least starting or anything around building a startup. Thank you so much for sharing all this, Dhananjay, and being so candid about your journey so far. And so what I've understood from our interaction so far is that currently you want to be a B2C. I mean that's the ultimate.
We have already gone B2C now. We have already gone B2C now.
So you've from B2B now you've come back to B2C.
We have B2B and B2C both.
B2C both. All right. Okay. So if we can talk about, like, I really want to know from you, ये D2C और B2C में basic difference क्या होता है, like?
Direct to customer is like a doorstep delivery, where you are actually delivering suppose a grocery delivery app is a D2C brand, or let's say a cab booking app is a D2C, where you want to book a cab and it comes to your door. So that's actually that's a direct to customer. Customer is not coming up to you. You are going to the customer. You're delivering it to the customer. That is D2C. As per my best understanding, I'm not a professional. I'm not an expert in this field, but whatever I know, I can do the best of my knowledge. That is D2C. A B2C is business to customer, where a customer requires your services. He reaches a particular area and you give your services. Like for example, in our case, we are a B2C, not a D2C. A customer wants to go to a, let's say, Starbucks cannot place, so they require a service in that place. Once they reach that area, they get our services. So we are B2C. We are a business providing a service to a customer when they need it at a particular area. So we are not actually sending a valet to their home to drive their car and take them to the parking. Yeah.
All
so
right.
It's not like a doorstep delivery. And B2B is, I've already explained earlier.
Right. So since you've already explained, I wanted to, speak about your business model towards the end, but now since we already have a hang of your business model, that, okay, you go to the parking area, you go to the area, generally speaking, markets or, areas which are like highly rushed, you go there, you click whatever your app interface and you let us know that you require our services there. So we provide you with the valet services. So what all places, is it going to be pan India? Is it going to be like one regional a regional thing? So how are you going about it now that we've understood the model?
Since we are a startup, we operate on a lean model. Just for those who do not know a lean model is you start small but you think big. Our vision is not to just establish restrict us to pan India. We want to go pan global. I mean, we want to go global.
Lovely.
Yeah, because our services are valid all across the world. Because I'm interacting with a lot of people from Europe. I have some other founders connected with me in the cohort also, who are actually from European countries. When they came about our services, they said that they are very valid in the European part. And some of the seniors that I have, they are well established in America, also in Canada. Even they said that this service is very much required there. Our goal is to start small. Like currently, we are working only in Delhi NCR, certain areas which are the target
Okay.
areas like Connaught Place, Chandni Chowk, Karol Bagh, and
Okay.
some malls, some big
Okay.
malls of some big malls of the Delhi NCR. We are already in
Acha.
talks with almost 11 malls all across Delhi NCR, and in some of the malls we are already giving our services in last 1.5 months, and we have got a decent feedback from customers also from there. The reason why you should operate on a lean model in the beginning because you're cash strapped. Because you're a startup. You do not have so many hundreds of thousands of crores where you can actually spend everywhere at one time. If you can do
True.
that, if you have that much capital, you must go. You must go global. But in most of the startups, in the cases of startups, you must spend every single penny after giving it a lot of thought. Because your capital is actually your timing. Because you will have to burn capital to run
Yes.
your operations. Even to send an OTP, you have to spend the money. Spend some, even if it's a
Right.
small amount. At a day, if you're sending 1500 SMSs for OTPs or 1500 SMS for booking, then it's going to accumulatively come to a decent amount every day. So your cash burn is
Right.
there. That's why you must learn to operate on a lean model. Start small, think big. Okay, that's our vision to expand to almost all across the world. That is our vision at the end, to solve problem for everybody. Where we do not want anybody to go to a parking ever. We just want people to reach their destination. That should be handled by us. That is our vision. To solve
Lovely.
the parking, we want
Lovely.
to eliminate parking anxiety from people's life. कि कल अगर आप घर से निकलते हो आपको ये ना हो कि मैं यार गाड़ी की मार्किंग नहीं मिलेगी मैं
पार्किंग कहाँ
पार्किंग
करूँ?
गाड़ी से नहीं जाऊंगा.
और
That is
ये
what I really
मेट्रोस की
recommend.
तो सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है कि
Even in tier
पार्किंग
one
कहाँ
cities,
करेंगे.
even in tier one cities, it's the same problem is same.
Yes.
And
Yes.
like you asked, why should one operate on a lean model? Why we suggest is because if you go all across the world and you have some glitches in your application, there are certain things that you will make mistakes. Because what you'll think on a paper and you make an MVP, even when you go on ground, the problems you face you will not even you must have not given a thought कि ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि कस्टमर का ऐसा भी फीडबैक आ सकता है. हमने एप्लीकेशन बना के बड़ा रेडी करके पहुंच गए, पता चला कस्टमर का इंटरनेट ही बहुत जगह प्रॉब्लम कर रहा था. Even in such location, even in a city like Delhi, there were network problems
Right.
which we never thought
Right.
about. Which we never thought about.
True.
But then we
True.
had to work when we had to find a solution कि अगर internet काम नहीं कर रहा, then how we are going to serve the customers. We found a solution to that also. But that is how you learn. If you had done it all across the country, आपने पूरा application directly pan India launch कर दिया, let's say, और वहाँ पे problem आई, you will lose more customers who will never come back to you again, rather than you will gain customers. In such cases where you have a mistake, you have a glitch, you have a problem, you are not solving the problem the way you wanted it to or you intended to. So lean model actually helps you in improving your product without losing a lot of customers, without a lot of
Yes.
negative publicity. Yes.
Yes, yes, because of course that is very important. Traction, positive publicity, retention of the existing,
Customer.
customer. क्योंकि
We are
acquiring
very
a new
proud.
customer always,
We are very
yeah,
proud to
okay.
tell.
Please.
We are very proud to say that we are more than 19% of recurrent customers right now. It is a
Oh,
very good
that is
number for a
amazing.
startup.
If you have recurrent and you're able to,
19%.
actually retain your customer, then nothing like it. That's the best business model one can actually aim for. So I'm really happy if that's the case. Kudos to you. Thank you so much, Dhananjay. It was a lovely, lovely session. But before I let you go, you'll have to tell us, like one book you recommend that everybody should read.
Okay. One book that I would like to recommend everybody is look. There is a reason why I like recommend that book. Before I recommend that, I'll take 2 minutes of time. Okay. The reason is
Please.
at the end, even if you have a product, you have such an innovative product. Unless people don't know about it, the product is good for nothing. So first, you need to market. You need to know how you're going to market a product because it will eventually help you in formulating a go-to-market strategy. So everything is related. So every
Yes.
startup founder must know how to sell, whom to sell, and when to sell. These three things must be known. So I think I recommend a book called Contagious by Jonah Berger. He's a professor from Wharton School. I think that book actually addresses it's actually a study and analysis of why things go viral, why things get a word of mouth, how things how things spread eventually, why certain videos go viral, why certain products go viral. So it addresses that point. So if you all founders will read that book, I think it will give you a very good insight of what to take care of, what are the tick marks that you must have in your product marketing strategy. So that will help
So
you
can we
get a
have the
very good.
name again? I missed it the first time.
It's Contagious by Jonah Berger.
Okay.
Contagious.
And it's available
Contagious.
on
It's
Amazon?
available Amazon, Flipkart, everywhere on bookstores also. It's a bestseller. At least
All right.
startup founders must read. I don't know if many founders know about it, but you must read that book. It's a must read.
All right. But sir, thank you so much for your recommendation, and thank you so much, Dhananjay, for sharing such beautiful insights. It was a very informative, interactive session, to be very honest. And thank you so much for accepting my invite, and giving us your time. It was indeed a pleasure to have you.
The pleasure was mine, ma'am. I got a chance to interact with a personality like you. I have always looked up to you. You know that. And I've been following your work. I
Thank you
hope
so
that I could
much.
be if I could add any value to your viewers or to anybody who wants to start up, or if I could be of any sort of help or assistance to anybody, I'll be available anytime. So they can contact me on Instagram whenever they want, or through other LinkedIn or etc. So I'm Dhananjay Bharadwaj. I'm available by this name.
So I'll link your Instagram page in the description of this video for sure. But if somebody wants to avail your services, so you have an app that can be
Yes, ma'am.
downloaded?
We have an application on iOS and Play Store both.
Okay, by Parkmate India.
Parkmate IN. That's it.
Sure. So in the comment section, if you can, just leave
I'll
a
post a
comment.
link. I'll post a link of
Yeah,
it.
you post a link, right? When I'll post this video, you can post the link. Thank you so much. I'll have to let
Thank you,
you
ma'am.
go. Thank you so much. It was lovely, lovely talking. And
The
all the
pleasure was
very
mine.
best. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you,
Take
ma'am. The
care,
pleasure was
Dhananjay.
mine.
Bye.
Good day.
Bye-bye. Good day.